Hi, Harrison. Hi, Angela. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Derek. How are you doing? How are you doing, Angela?
Yeah, very, very well. We had a bit of kickback from last week's episode where, let's just say, certain quantum tricks were attempted. So in a quantum digital human way, just going to express that that's not going to happen again. And that's to the direct interlopers that were actively trying to hide their account accruals from the audit section of the Spiritual Court of Equity. So it has been a challenging week. I'm sure many humans on Earth have also been challenged by impositions of not of their human origin. So without further ado, let's open the Spiritual Court of Equity. We've got quite a substantial set of protocols to work through. But before we get stuck in there, I would just like to add into that on the 3rd of February 2023, we'll be operating a quantum love experience, which is going to take you out of the direness of the human experience and rewire you for those higher dimensional levels of your pure existence into your physical technology and body. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's absolutely beautiful. And there is nothing like it at this level on Earth today. So also, I would like to add in, there's another date coming up for the Indigo Awakening. And if you are an Indigo child or a grown-up adult Indigo, you will have experienced certain issues that affect your life today. This is a complete retrieval of those parts of self that were targeted eons ago, and we'll be bringing you back into full power and progression on your infinite journey. That is going to be in April, and there'll be other trainings coming out too. But do subscribe. I'll be grateful to see if this actually works. Do comment as well, because we are being restricted on social media. There are certain things that obviously are not going down too well, or going very well, actually, because you kind of expect certain behaviours coming back from lower level thought. So do subscribe, do comment. We are being hit in a number of ways, and we seek to resolve them always with peace. So without further ado, Derek and Harrison, please take the floor.
Yes, I'll start. We're going today to work on all the people on the earth. We'll start with Earth that have unfortunately been subjected, whether it's through fear or a threat of their life being taken, if they do not sign papers in order for different sections and factions of different state or industrial complexes to take control of the children. So the court today is bringing in all the top level perpetrators of this agenda and their handlers, who have also been subjected underneath them to mind control in order to do their dirty work and to do the job. And this is also off planet as well. So once again, the court is working on different planetary systems, different parts of the cosmos, gathering all the top influentials, yes, working for the draconian, reptilian agenda. So they're bringing them all in. So we're actually going to the top right now. The court is actually calling in all the people from the draconians to the reptilians to the greys, all the different groups of people that have been affiliated with them or working directly underneath them to empower themselves, to suck and drain the energy out of souls, beautiful souls, very conscious souls that have been taken over by force on planet Earth. So they're bringing in all these perpetrators right now. They're going to be dealt with accordingly. The perpetrators, on the other hand, have to give, and they are giving, the names of the handlers that work directly and puppet masters working directly underneath them. And the court is cancelling every single contract that has been forced upon parents, forced upon young children to sign and teenagers to sign against their will. And as they are being cancelled, the court is freeing and cutting the ties and links to these various factions and organizations. Can you join Harrison?
Yeah, that's wonderful. What I'm perceiving is that I'm getting this idea where there's this project that is happening, but before you implement the entire project, you have to do a pilot test where you're gonna do some tests to see how the project is gonna work out. And when it goes to plan, you can now fully go full mode in terms of implementation of the project. So what I'm getting is that they are using different people or countries or locations where they are implementing different agendas and gathering information on what the larger population will perceive or react into some of these ideas. So, and if you try to go against what is being piloted or what they are planning to implement, they are doing multiple different ways to deal with that. And one of the things that's coming up is where they are linking someone's financial accounts with the behavior that they do, whether it's online or out there protesting or whatever you're doing. As long as it's not the accepted ideology, they are studying or they are gathering data, what will happen when they will start dismantling or limiting your financial capabilities. And this is what the court is looking into, to make sure that when the people decide to voice their free will or the desires they want, they can do it in a manner that is not gonna be through intimidation and violation of your free will. So it's kind of a struggle what I'm picking up, because it's not a straightforward kind of thing that's gonna happen, but they are putting things and in place to make sure that people have a stronger will and a stronger heart, so that when these things are implemented, they are able to override their effects, where they become useless. So they don't work, whether the system decides to implement them, they decide, they are not gonna work anymore. So that's what the court is looking into at the moment.
Okay. I just wanted to add into this a second. And, actually, Harrison, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. What I wanted to add into this, while you both were talking, the planet technology was literally advancing the resolution of all races here. And there are some races in here that have particularly suffered at the hands of this system project planning, test and trials scenario, which is part of their experimentation processes, to how far they can break the human free will. To them, it's a game where they intend to break the will of every human incarnated now through the heart. And this is what we're seeing here. And it's of no mistake that certain health protocols that they advised everybody to take are literally killing people in their droves through the heart. So there's a tremendous amount of planetary grief here, and they're just going to be working on that in the background. Now, to these situations where these quantum contracts and spiritual contracts are being foisted upon people, and as you say, there's many cultures around the world currently that are resisting it or trying to, despite threats for their life. And this is happening on many different levels. And again, it's part of the dehumanization agenda. We have children and young people being affected through mental health issues, self-harming, but this projection that it's okay to harm a child or harm each other in a dehumanized way, the spilling of blood, the creation of war. And in these old cycles, everybody has had enough. This is the end of the cycle. I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I
fantastic.
absolutely agree.
Yeah, what I'm getting is that there's this, I'm not gonna give the name of what has been found, but it's a fashion company that was using children, and it was putting them or placing them in quite a way that adults wouldn't like to have their kids do in the name of fashion. And it has caused a huge repercussion or uproar from the people who have seen the photos that they have taken of kids. And it's been leaked with pedophilia and all that stuff.
Yes, it's
And
the paedophile agenda as normalization. This is a normalization exercise through culture.
I'd also like to add in there that it's also through art and sculpture that they're portraying these images. So then it's almost looked upon as, okay, well, that's art, it's acceptable, but it's actually unacceptable.
Yes, it's the imposition on the senses here. So we have the visual impact that hits us at the core of our experience. And most people will turn away because they don't want to see it. There'll be some that see it and will create the responses necessary to take them out of action on the 3D level. Amazing. But what I would like to see in the spiritual court of equity is a drive of the mother who allows their child to be that visual representation of a system that wants to essentially take the energy from children and divert their natural processes.
There's also parents that have been mind control in order for them to allow this to take place.
Yeah.
So the court will be looking at that as well. So they're looking at the head honchos, call it, that of forcing this agenda of the peoples on earth, especially the children that have been taken into slavery, child trafficking, made to work off planet in deep space programs as cattle slaves to further their agenda. So the court is cancelling all this. all the paperwork is being brought in, gathered from the different planetary systems, different solar systems in the universe, if you will, because it's further than just our system that we know. And it's quite a vast amount of work that is actually taking place, but it's all being cancelled because as we are talking right here, we are bringing this information to the court that it's against the light, it's against free will, it's against personal sovereignty, and because we have, as free sovereign beings, free will, and when that free will is taken from us through force, through slavery or imprisonment, it is being rectified and cancelled in this court session today as we head towards the closure of 2022. So we have all the twos here. We're coming up to the 12th month, which is actually the 13th month of the earth. We're going to natural cycles, which is the ending of a grand cycle. So we're also entering into a phase where we're entering into a new phase on the earth, where in the quantum field of things, we can move towards greater freedom and move back into ourselves as full sovereign beings that have the full rights that are granted to sovereign beings of the light.
Beautiful. So while that beautiful oration came through, I was having a look at the originators, which some, yes, originate outside of this universe. Some originate from posts or substations within this universe, within people's thought processes, keeping them alive. But what I did detect is that there is a great deal of shame in that culture. And I'd like to just dig around and have a little look at that. So this shame that they feel, the originators, what is that? Can you look at that for me? And I'm just going to ask them, what did you do to create or experience such shame in your own being? What is it? Let's resolve it. And what do they say?
Well, we need to remember that there have been wars of planets, and the systems that have lost the war or that have sent their military might out and crushed other systems and blown up other planets as well. The people living on the planet where they've sent out these war machines, and then they have to pay for it through another system of control by the other top head honchos, then those people living on those planets are left in shame. And that's the start of it.
Yeah, what I was also getting is that this being at the core of their heart from the beginning of time itself, before they resorted to have this deep shame, so that they could proceed to react the way they reacted, is that they felt betrayed by the higher beings of light when they were let down, because there were some things they wanted to be done in terms of protection, and the way Derek has put it, in terms of war, when war started coming, and some of these beings were not higher beings were not getting directly being involved with their karmic entanglement, and these for the lack of a better word, lower beings decided to take up war and all that stuff, that's what spiraled down to that point where they started creating or having these thoughts of dehumanizing or whatever beings or children they did, and they started creating these pedophilia and all that state, all what goes with that system.
Well,
What
the
did they
court,
need from the
Harrison.
children?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Angela.
What did they need from the children? And this comes as well through the interference of the birth process and the spiritual contracts and the race amnesia. I would just at this moment would like to highlight all programmed race amnesia programs through every single incarnated being on earth that ever was and ever will be. So it's removed from the birthing process. So each child can remember who they are naturally.
Yeah.
Now, I know I'm going to really annoy somebody out there. That's really okay.
Yeah. So there are so many things they would get from that, from their children, and given that I have been able to get them at a very little or at a young age, and they're able to program them and position them in or put them in places of power, and they can easily manipulate them because they can split their souls or do whatever they do best with their souls, fractionalization and creating clones and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But also what they knew is that the moment you touch the child, the entire society crumbles, because a mother or a father, the moment you touch their child, they'll even go to on their knees begging you to stop doing that. And they knew that was one of the most effective and best way of controlling society. So those are some of the predominant thoughts that I'm getting. So the others, they just discovered them as they were continuing exploring this new thing that they had found they can use to manipulate people with.
Well, I just want to add in at this point, we're working at cancelling all these contracts. So all these service to self groups and their headmen through quantum artificial intelligence systems, I can tell you right now, 12 of them have just been blown up by the court, and all those entanglements and cords have gone with these systems being blown up by the court that have been given permission to do it. And it happens instantly through light technology. So that system has been removed in its entirety. However, the court still holds the original records. So the perpetrators are being brought in one by one and in groups, if you will, and they will be dealt with by the court. They are being dealt with right now, and even after our session today, the court will carry on with the processing process, if you will.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Now, during that time where that is going on, obviously people may not know this, that we're handling different aspects of the spiritual court of equity here between us all. And this is what happens en masse when we work with our own perceptions, our own translation of the data that we're all seeing in the court. It all amounts to the same. So when people come together and work in this way, you're going to see all perspectives being represented. Now, some might say, why should these people get blown up? Maybe that's a bit too savage. But then again, look at the inflictions that have taken place through every single living, breathing member of this earth society that we are here on today. So, you know, there are great people that can hold positions where they maybe don't have race amnesia. So I would like to have a little chat in a separate part of the court with all those that remembered exactly what they were doing, why, and who for. And this includes those who are involved in esoteric practices and will begin their harvest, their cyclical harvest, in the month of December and January, where we're going to see many, many things, situations, places, people's being, trying to bring the absurd into reality. They'll be performing rituals, spiritual rituals that affect the quantum field of Earth. And we're just going to get those cancelled and void in the background here as well.
Well, I'll add to that. This is a free will planet, the Earth. There's still certain factions on Earth. The court knows exactly who they are, that will still try and hoodwink the general public, as it will. They've already placed their victims to come forward for their sacrifices, and the power that they're going to get from it. I've got to laugh because we're working with the Court of Equity, and the power that they expect to get through this process has just been removed. So they can do it, but it's not going to empower them. That's gone.
In fact, what will happen is a complete reversal of everything that they try and intend will be reversed. It's quite simple.
Yeah,
they're going
that's
to
wonderful.
actually be more powerless than ever before, and they'll be wondering what's happened.
Exactly. Why aren't people believing me anymore?
Yeah, given right now they're experiencing lack of the wizard class that's used to repair some of these systems. But also what I'm getting here is that the reason why they keep on doing this over and over again is because in our current 3D reality, they have been able to get away with it, you know, as long as you are a leader and you have power to command and usurp and do whatever, or you think, you know, you can kick or pass your karma down to the next generation without caring who's gonna bear the burden. And this is what they have been riding on over and over and over again. And that's why I'm bringing it to the attention of the court. You know, it doesn't matter what they do, as long as, you know, all that karmic debt or damage they are doing is attached to their soul, and they can go and resolve it elsewhere.
Well,
Yeah.
Harrison, it boils down to money as well. So, you know, these people in power, if you will, that are exerting these different agendas, there's a payback, there's financial gain for it. And you're talking earlier on about, and Angela, about the new system that they want to bring out. Once again, that's service to self. We're living in a time, we're moving towards service to others. So all these service to self groups, they will not be getting their paycheck at the end of this month or next month or in 3 months' time through the quantum financial system, which we're talking about in the last session. It's being closed down. So they can wait, they will be promised, but nothing's going to arrive.
Wonderful. So in this moment, I'm just going to send a quantum bill to their accounts department. And it's a quantum bill for Concordia. Because there were very few people that can unentangle this from them and untangle people from them. So we're just going to initiate that. I just want to gauge the response in the spiritual court. That's all.
Well, that just also brings into line that a lot of splitter technology attached to the different AI systems is also, I'm going to say blown up, because that's what we're doing. We're blowing up these systems. We're blowing up these entanglements.
Yeah, and also what I'm getting is that from the court is making me aware, as someone who is making me aware that the system, what they are doing right now, they think it's working for them, but it's gonna become the downfall. And the example that I'm being given is what is happening in Ukraine and Russia, and the way Europe and the rest of the Western countries have decided to stand and take a position on Russia, and it's really, really hurting them. And recently, Britain was caught buying Russians oil under the ground. You know, they didn't want this information to be known. But on the front covers, they are saying they have sanctioned, you know, buying anything from Russia, and they are doing the 180 and going and doing business with Russia. And this is one of the things that's happening. And because of these decisions they are making, it's gonna become their downfall. And through that, that's how the rest of the system is gonna come crumbling down to its knees.
It's already crumbling all around us as we're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, we're working all year with the Court of Equity, and we're starting to see the results. You know, it's not just us working, the three of us. There are a lot of different groups on the planet, not that many, and off this planet that are also working tirelessly to actually bring through a new era, a new existence, a new earth that is peaceful, that is loving, that one doesn't have to subject oneself to living a life of ignorance and slavery, if you will, but living a life that is full, that is blessed, and moving towards being the beautiful high frequency being of light that you are, and actually having that experience and experiencing all other infinite loving intelligence around you.
Our divine right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what I'm also getting is that the system is also aware of what, I mean, the court is aware of what the system is doing, where they are crashing all these other countries to create an immigration crisis to the European and the Americas and other countries. And through that, creating food shortages and crisis, because they know at some time later they are gonna use that crisis and create an event that's gonna take more free will from the people and bring in this rivalry quantum thing that they are planning to do. But
don't forget, sorry, Harrison.
Yeah.
I was going to add, don't forget, when you move populations from one country to another country, that's an asset for the country, for the corporation, should we will, that they're arriving in, and that means more money for them. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah, because to them it's a numbers game, but the court is becoming aware of this, and it's gonna backfire badly on their face, because the more you think that you're gonna control these people, you know, you're out of luck, because the moment the protest and the demand for freedom hits your area, you're not gonna be able to control those people you thought they're working for you.
Exactly.
I'd like to add, while to this, the court has been working, as you know, with the digital system. The digital system has its origination off planet.
Does Orion
Exactly. And the digital system at the originator point is being vaporized right now. So in fact, on a quantum level, it's already been removed. And we just, even if they bring it out on the earth, on the highest level, it has been removed. So it will not work. It will be unsuccessful. They'd like you to, or rather portray it as being a success, when in actual fact, it's a complete flop. It will never work. The court has worked on this session.
That's awesome.
No one likes a disappointing flop. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I'm getting this idea that we call her mother and request her to put a love virus that's gonna go and corrupt the data they have already gathered, so that when they unleash that enslavement system, instead of enslaving people, it spreads the love virus to everybody, and they become aware of it after the entire thing has happened.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love that, Harrison. I love that. Oh dear. So things are moving pretty quickly out there now that we targeted this issue of that needed to be resolved. It was getting very pokey out there for humanity. So they're just clearing down from those levels down to the reality and density that our physical bodies live in. And I just want to check on the race amnesia programmer, how they are functioning right now and how they intend to put it right.
Well, that's quite an involved subject itself when you take into consideration that a lot of people have already been compromised when they arrived here and have already, they can be half artificial intelligence induced. So it's a completely different subject as well. But for those that have arrived here as sovereign beings, if you will, and no artificial attachments, no hybridization or transhuman aspects of them, the court, I'd say, is 98, 99% through that process.
Wonderful. So while that process completes, I'm just going to make another announcement for next year. I'm going to be running a year-long training in operating and how to operate a spiritual court of equity. So you can achieve fast-track results with every single karmic being or being that you need to work with in your lifetime. And it's going to be really amazing. And this will be launched in March next year. Just adding that in, but do subscribe because, I'm going to also bring through a series of short starter videos for people to really engage in the process, and you can comment and feedback. And then, if you need help to answer particular questions, it will leave a message for those coming into this in the future of how we can actually create the resolution that each individual needs in their lives, but also on a planetary level, because we work synchronistically with Earth.
Well, we also then need to look at this whole agenda of changing genders, male, female, female, male, blah, blah, blah. But the whole idea behind it all is once you implement that, then transhumanism becomes acceptable, and it's not acceptable.
It's not.
Yeah. What I'm getting is that the sun it's emitting a kind of array. I can see the golden light coming down, and it's creating havoc to the kind of the system they are trying to implement on the surface of the earth. So I think, yeah, go ahead,
No,
Derek.
I know exactly what you are talking about. What specifically has occurred in the last week is that a grid of golden starlight energy, like a net, has been placed around the earth. And for the people that are awake and that are in touch with higher vibrational frequency energy, are tuning into the new golden grid of light and high frequency light energy that is being placed around the earth to act. Well, the earth's, it's going up in densities. We're moving into 5D, and when you're in 5D, you actually then automatically moving into 6D and above. So those high vibrational frequencies represented by golden starlight energy is coming through now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That explains a lot of the intensity that people have been undergoing in this last week alone.
Yeah, I'm just seeing these rays, just coming down into the earth, and they are interfering with what is being implemented here by the system, and they are not liking it. So maybe that's why they are talking of dimming the sun and this carbon, whatever they are trying to implement, or this climate change they are talking about.
So I think that in the complete harmonic balance, that needs to maybe crank it up a little bit just to create more peace in the people that have been affected and they don't know why. The people that are still waking up, the people that want to wake and are just beginning to, but it's been made a very difficult process for them to really open up their existence of realization of the infinite. Because, it's got to be beautiful for them.
Well, welcome to the new age and the new earth.
Yeah. Please leave domination and control at the door.
It's falling away. It's falling away very fast. And, I'm really impressed by the way the Court of Equity is vaporizing and blowing up different AI systems of control over people, sovereign beings of the earth, and that have been taken off planet, which we've been working on with the session through the different deep state, deep fleet, black fleet ops that are taking place. So they've been processing all those papers, and they've got rid of those systems, especially the system that they're trying to implement through digital what. So at the highest level, that system has been taken down. I'm very pleased to say.
That's great. And I hope that's very heartwarming and reassuring for our future viewers and those that will take this experience on board and work with it in some way. Great.
Yes, because in this court, there will be no slave race.
Exactly. That's great. I like to hear that, Derek.
That's wonderful. And it's time everybody is able to experience what sovereignty and free will means. And when everyone becomes aware of this from within and they're able to explore that, I think we are gonna be able to do tremendous thing on this planet. And the moment we choose to go out there, we can take all the lessons that we are having right now and give it to the multitude of beings out there that would use this for their advancement and enlightenment.
Absolutely, Harrison. But just remember, as I mentioned earlier on, a lot of people on this earth aren't true sovereign beings. You know, they hybrids, transhumans, half artificial intelligence. We've got robots. So, you know, those groups will eventually fall away. They're not going to last, and they'll be removed.
Yeah, they are gonna be removed, and they are gonna have, I think this is where when Earth decides to go its way, whether it chooses to create a space for them to exist until they become aware of who they are, or whether they choose to go into other planets, I think it's the highest time those people who want to explore free will to its fullest and explore other realities without dogmas and political interferences and what have you, and war. You know, it's the highest time they're able to experience this and explore it without being told if you happen to have those thoughts, you are gonna nuke your accounts, and you have no way of operating in this matrix, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, also we need to take, it gives us choice and free will individually as to how we go forward without that input and that coding. So maybe there will be, as soon as someone says no, that's it. God forbid, there's a whole set of protocols that may come into place, but they've got to be dealt with. So I'm just going to initiate the 999 completion.
Yes, well, the court's just completed cancelling all forced contracts upon parents and children that have been forced to sign them. So that's been resolved in this sitting right now, which is wonderful.
Great.
That's good. That's wonderful.
The perpetrators that are still around, off planet and on planet, creating a world of slavery, are also being, they're in the court and they are being dealt with themselves. And even though they might still have bodies on the earth, they themselves are being removed and they're going to be dealt with in the court. We do not need to know what happens to them.
Great.
They'll be taken back to their place of origin and the court will deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. As we would expect. That's great. Okay, well, that's wonderful, guys. You did really great. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling fabulous. Very happy with the work the court's done here, Harrison.
I too am feeling wonderful and fantastic.
Brilliant. May we all progress. So
I mean, I was just going to add Harrison sitting there with the golden gate behind him. So, you know, that's also a reflection that we're going to be moving over the golden gate into a place where there is peace and love, and we will be free.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would love to have that tune, you know, singing on every single person's lip, you know, that we are free at last, and they're able to explore their life and whatever they want to do without interference or anybody trying to put domination and control down their throat.
From day one or less.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's wonderful. Great. So we shall bid you fare thee well and see you next time on Spiritual Courts of Equity. Do like and subscribe.
Hit the like button, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, Harrison. Thanks, Angela. Bye.